About 15 years ago, I watched the film Life After Life, which became part of my all-time must-see list of impactful videos. The subject was near-death experiences, featuring Dr. Raymond Moody. Raymond, as he prefers to be called, is referred to as the father of near-death experiences, but he will and did quickly correct anyone who proffers this title upon him in saying that Plato is in truth the father of near-death experiences. His life is a paradox in that he's devoted 50 years to understanding and documenting a phenomenon that is often referred to as the spiritual experience, while maintaining that NDEs can also be explained through pure logic.
December of 1943 at Camp Barkley, Texas, he was a recruit into the Army, and during his basic training he developed double lobar pneumonia and was found apparently dead in the ward of double lobar pneumonia, but then the doctor came, pronounced him dead. About 9 minutes later, the ward boy, that was the first person he had ever known of his age who had died, so he couldn't face this, so he came and persuaded Dr. Francie, who was the ward physician, to inject adrenaline directly into George's heart, and George came back. But in the interim, he said, suddenly he came to and found himself out of his body. Nobody could see him, nobody could hear him. And as this experience progressed, he said the lights started getting better. He found himself surrounded by a sort of three-dimensional panorama of everything he had ever done, and in the presence of this profound being of complete compassion and love. And had quite a number of experiences with this, and then it greatly shaped his practice of medicine. After this, he went on to become a physician. He was only 20 years old at the time of his experience. Mm-hmm. And I knew George for the rest of his life. He was, I can honestly say at my age now of 66 that George Ritchie is the finest human being I ever have known. Mm-hmm. Although I met him when I was 19, but he totally changed my life. But then after that, I think the next one that really was a very significant event to me was sometime in late '69 or early '70. I was a professor of psychiatry at East Carolina, and a young man who had been severely injured in an accident about a year ago and had obvious scarring and everything, made his way up to class after class one day and asked me, why don't we talk about life after death in this class? And I said, why are you interested in that? So this young man said, because about a year ago I was in a bad accident and my doctors said I died. And I had an experience that has totally changed my life, but I haven't had anybody to talk about it with. So I interviewed him, and well, anybody who researches this will know that gathering cases is no problem.
Right.
I mean,
There's so
as soon
many.
as you're known for an interest, so it just very quickly snowballed.
I was genuinely thrilled to meet Dr. Moody and humbled at the breadth of his intellect throughout this conversation. For the full interview, go to cmn.tv.